Hey guys, today I want to talk about staying on track to becoming an expat. I had a guy call me the other day, and the first thing out of his mouth was negativity, right from the get go. And it was a guy that was going for his SRRV visa. And he was telling me, he says the whole apostille thing to get your apostille for his documents is just too much work. He says he's too old for this stuff. He says it's very hard to do. And I'm like, nothing could be easier. It's actually very easy to do once you learn how to do it. And I told him, I says, I can walk you through the whole process. But the guy was like, Steve, I don't think you understand. I'm too old for this. I says, well, I says, if you're going to stay negative, I says, then you're never going to move past that. I says, I can get you past it if you want to come here to the Philippines. He says, I want to come to the Philippines. He says, I want to come in the worst way. He says, but he says, this stuff for the SRV is too daunting. And I says, it's really not. It's very simple. I says, once you get over here, I can walk you through it. I'll come up there, meet you, and I'll take you through the whole process. Mary Rose will take you through the whole process. It's not that hard. But the guy kept staying on that negative footing. He stayed on that, and he says, Steve, he says, I want to thank you for your help and all this stuff. And I'm like, I says, I can help you. I says, this here part, if you don't want to do it, I can either send you to a place that'll do it for you and charge you. I says, but it's not that hard. I says, you can do it. I says, it's very simple. I says, if you listen to what I'm doing and what I'm going to tell you, then you can do it. You can get through this. No, Steve, it's too much. I don't really want to deal with this. I'm just going to stay here in the States. I'm like, okay. And, once your words have to be positive in your life. If you keep your words positive things will happen. I know that there's not going to be positivity in the world all the time. I mean, look at the world today. The world is a mess. But if you put goodness in your words and positivity in your words, I can do this. I can, that kind of changes your mentality and things start to happen. But if you start speaking like, well, I don't know if I can do this. I don't, there is truth in what I'm saying here, because I notice that people that are positive, they just have like this flow, and they just flow through their problems, and even myself, sometimes I can get negative or bogged down in something when something happens to me, and I've learned to keep on staying with the flow. Yeah, I get bogged down sometimes just like everybody else, but I notice I go through it faster as I keep on going through this learning process of staying positive. Positivity and being positive is really hard. And don't put curses in your words. Like your words can be a curse to yourself. If you keep saying, I can't do this or I can't do that, you know what? Then you've already kind of cursed yourself. If you really have, and if you say, oh, this is never going to happen, it'll never happen probably, because you know what? It's in your words. It's in your words. You're producing that yourself. You're bringing that negativity to you. You're bringing that negative energy to you, and it's the truth. It's just something that happens. When you around negative people, what happens is you bring in more negativity. So one thing I learned in my life to move on in my life and to become a better expat and a happier expat, and I'm going to try to teach this to you, or at least let you know the ways that have worked for me, okay? And that is that when you don't let negativity come into your life, into your friendships, and into your family, it kind of, you kind of work through things a lot faster. I notice in my expat group, we are very picky about people in our expat group. When we find out somebody is problematic or something like that, we don't deal with it. We used to give people like a second chance or something like that. I mean, for small things, yeah, obviously you're going to give them a second chance or something like that. But for big things, nowadays you're done. And I find that with friendships. I find that with people in my life that from my past that call me up, and they call me up with a lot of negativity and stuff like that all the time. Oh, that'll never happen, Steve. Trust me. When people start saying that to me, I just kind of seclude myself from that. And yeah, some people are going to say that sometimes. I say it sometimes. We all say it. So you can't just throw people out of your life right away. I'm talking about when people are like that constantly, consistently. You don't want that in your life. It's like a curse on you. It's dragging you into their mess. And you don't want to have those words coming out of your mouth. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. Because you know what? Like I said, it's kind of cursing you already. You're making it so that it's not going to happen. And it probably won't happen because, you're thinking that way. So you're not even going to try. Your mind starts readjusting itself to the fact that it's not going to happen. And you don't even try at that point. It's just something that happens. So when you have people in your life and you have things going on in your life that are negative, try to turn it around, twist it around, make it change. Keep that positivity and get those words in your mouth to become more positive. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm telling you, I'm going to do it. When I was back home, people were saying, man, Steve, you're never going to go to the Philippines. You're never going to go over there. You're never going to get there. You've been saying this now for 4 years. And so I says, I've been saying it for 4 years because it's going to happen. And yeah, I'm getting all my ducks in a row. That's why it's taken me so long, because I don't retire till I'm 55. And that was when I was 51. When I was 51, I started talking about retiring early. People were saying it's never, ever going to happen. So I would just stay positive about it and just, and tell them it's going to happen. Trust me, it's going to happen. So you got to stay on track, make things happen. And stay in the flow, that positive flow. It'll happen, trust me. God willing, it'll happen. But you got to make it happen. You got to stay positive. Don't let things happen to you. Don't let things get in your way. Stay that way. Stay on track constantly. Don't give up on little things. Don't let little things get in your way. Seek out help, whatever you got to do. Anyway, guys, God bless. Take care and stay positive. God bless, guys.